no shit. Roach Clips here to give you real shit. Roach Clips here to give you real tips. Roach Clips here to talk about real shit. About life that they don't wanna hit. Roach Clips here to talk about real shit. Dusty B. Roach Clips here to give you real tips. Clay and Steve. Roach Clips here to talk about real shit. About life that they don't wanna hit. They don't wanna hit. It's the no shit with the Roach Clips. It's the no shit with the Roach Clips. Get your no shit from the Roaches. It's the no shit with the Roach Clips. It's the no shit with the Roach Clips. It's the no shit with the Roach Clips. Get your no shit from the Roaches. It's the no shit with the Roach Clips.
Yo, what's up out there, everybody? Welcome to Roach Clips. I'm your host for the evening, Boy Buddha, aka Han Cholo. Welcome. We're going to go around the room real quick. I want to introduce my fellow Roaches. Going to my left.
It's your boy Dusty B, and to the left of me,
JT motherfucking Donnie, aka Red Velvet, the doctor. What up, though? To my left,
Claiborne, how's it going? And to my left,
Mikey Slim's in the house tonight. Let's get this party started. I hope you guys enjoy.
And on that note, gun control.
damn son, there was no sliding there.
Nah,
You said
no,
I'm
no,
gonna
no.
give you the whole long dick.
Steak drop.
Drop the mic. Yeah, nah, man. It's the main topic of the country right now. Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of some children were taken from us down in Florida.
What was it, 18?
I believe so. Yeah, 18, man. Thoughts and prayers go out to all their families, man.
Definitely.
So I want to just go around the room real quick and just kind of pick your brains on what you guys think about it, man. Like, are you for it? Do you think there should be stricter laws put in place for it? Like, I'm just trying to see where y'all minds at. So we're gonna start, of course, with Dusty B. Where you at with this, man?
I'm personally all for gun reform. I think we need it. Simple as that.
I couldn't agree anymore, honestly. There definitely needs to be some more strict, bills or laws in place. You know what I'm saying? For a fact.
Absolutely. And our boy Red Velvet over here is you're a hunter.
I'm a very, very, very avid outdoorsman. Don't get me wrong. I love to go shoot at the range, go target shooting with my fraternity brothers, go hunting, whatnot. But I've always been an advocate of safe gun use above anything else. Trust me, I've had my fun, done some maybe a little bit riskier things, but I'm not a novice shooter. I've been shooting for a very, very long time. But that being said, that's no excuse. Sometimes, at points in time, I feel like, when you hear about these people that have these mental breaks and whatnot and such, and it happens, don't get me wrong. And this comes down to a base of whether people are mentally capable enough to be able to handle a firearm use one. Like, this goes back to an article I was reading about, and my so favorite asshole that I preach on about, that I fucking hate him. Fuck you, Donald Trump. Trump blocked a rule that made it harder for mentally ill people to obtain guns. So essentially, in 2016, when Obama was still in office, his administration finalized a rule that would add to people receiving that would have like people that are receiving like Social Security checks for mental handicaps and whatnot, be able deemed unfit to handle and own a firearm. Which to me kind of makes sense. You know what I'm saying? If you're getting money saying that you're mentally inept to work, this, that, and third, whatever and such, why the fuck do you think you have the capability of shooting firearms safely and handling firearm correctly? I mean, mind you, there are probably the cases where there are plenty of people who do, but I'm saying I'm sorry. Sometimes you gotta Maybe there's certain occasions where they could be use a firearm with instruction with somebody or something like that, whatever, like a buddy instructor thing, or whatever, where you have like a tag along person to help you out, just like when you have when you get your permit for when you're driving a car.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We all know how to drive the fucking car, but we can't legally drive by ourselves. Same thing with these kind of situations.
But that's why, like, I think about like people's intentions, like you said, Donald Trump trying to let these people who are
However, though,
competent to be able to do shit, like it's like they almost want shit to
happen. And then
on
top of that, though, then you have the people who've never had a mental health break in their life, right? And then they go out and they have a break, and then they end up fucking shooting up the school or whatever it is. At the same time, yeah, I get it. That's on them, but at the same time too, that's also the other people around them that should try to be more watching of these people. You know what I mean? That their own family members and such. If you guys kind of see where I'm trying to go with this, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. To see like, hey, what's going on, man? What's
a training program of sorts?
Yeah, if anything, maybe, or even just more common decency among human beings, that maybe try to reduce the amount of mental health breaks motherfuckers having, like,
Yeah, that's on the rise.
I definitely think these people like should start from somewhere. Reforming a couple things, not necessarily taking the privileges away, but definitely reforming and definitely making it safer out there for people. But it's also very hard to do. It takes time. And you got to learn what ways work best, and what work best for our country, because other countries aren't the same. Other countries have different ways of doing things, and it works for them, but their ways won't work for us. So,
not always.
I mean, we'll see how it goes. But I think we do need some reforms. I think we, need some better safety etiquette for people who own guns.
I agree.
All right, Clay, you were saying something earlier. You got kind of bum rushed.
Yeah, a little bit, but I was saying, like, people who are obviously not, mentally competent to even like wipe their own ass. Like, why the hell do they need a gun?
Why would you need a gun?
Why would you need a gun? You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like unless we're in like not even state of emergency, but like maybe state of emergency, just to be politically correct, as a whole, like as a country, where it's like we're defending ourselves from whoever, and it's like we need to arm our people because we can get invaded at any minute.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the only reason why a motherfucker deserves to have a gun when they're not even mentally competent, physically competent to, you know what I'm saying? Like, that shit just doesn't make sense to me. So, like.
Sorry, I was waiting to use that one. That seemed like a good moment for that.
I was gonna say, like, you know what I'm saying? It just shit just needs to make sense. Like, they have all these acts and these laws that's been passed and suggested since 1936, but none of them are stopping and preventing all the bullshit from happening. You know what I'm saying?
True,
so it just doesn't make sense to me.
I agree to disagree with you on that one, though.
How?
I mean, you gotta kind of have. We know your side first before you can agree to disagree.
I agree that that it makes sense. Like, what if some shit happened? Like, what if someone invaded our country? Like, it would be nice to have.
Well, you're going to the Second Amendment. That's what the Second Amendment is supposed to be there for.
Exactly.
It's for the protection of the civilians against the government if it ever becomes tyrannical.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, that's our government, not just foreign countries trying to invade, but both at the same time, And then beyond that, what about hobbies and shit like that? What about people like enjoying the use of hunting and
so someone who has autism, you gonna give him a gun, tell him go hunting?
Hell no.
No.
All right,
not personal.
That's basically what you're saying.
No.
You saying it's okay for a kid with autism to have shooting guns as a hobby.
But that's why you have stricter rules about using said weapons.
Okay.
Like you can't just like.
So you saying a motherfucker could buy guns but can't use them? That's like saying here's this fucking Xbox but you can't play it.
Sure. Stricter rules would include that if you have a disability that impairs you from using common sense or impairs you from using a weapon correctly and safely, that you wouldn't be able to use it and you wouldn't be able to buy it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so
Both at
training
the same
course.
time.
Implement a training course.
Yeah.
Well, if you were to have a disability or something, you can't take that course because you can't use your weapon.
Well, then I guess you shouldn't own a weapon.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
not for. What about a sane person? What about someone who doesn't
Okay,
have a
we're not
disability?
taking it away from the sane and the
No,
people who
we're not
are-
talking
who
about
are
it.
Yeah,
mentally
we're
talking about
competent.
the-
We're talking about
The
the ones who are
inept, the
incompetent.
incompetent, the
I'm just making
the
sure that you,
unstable, the psychologically unsound.
Yeah, exactly. It just doesn't make like the second you think about
Open
it.
your ears,
I-
motherfuckers.
I didn't hear this before. Did you hear this before?
About what?
About them talking about just the not sane people.
Yes.
I must be out of this topic, man. I didn't hear that.
That's okay. You're slims.
Facts.
Congratulations. You
Yeah.
played yourself. Anyways.
You blew that topic up, motherfucker.
But getting back on topic, real quick. And according to CNN polls, about 70% of Americans feel the way we feel. That there's definitely a need for some sort of regulations on gun control.
Mhm.
But you know what's crazy? The guy that did this, he bought it legally.
So most of these guns are coming through legally and whatnot, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, not all the time. But
He
I'm
bought it
gonna
through
let
a
Steve
loophole,
finish.
technically,
Not all
but
the
yeah.
time. I have something that I'm gonna educate y'all on in a second. I don't know if y'all knew about this term, but continue, Steve, and then I'll jump in.
nah, man, you're good. It's just like what I don't understand is why is it that this is such a uphill battle for everyone? What I'm saying is like you got the Republicans fighting. They're like, yeah, we're gonna do it, but not as well as everybody wants.
Well, the reason is you got the NRA backing everybody, and the NRA is a very powerful corporation in itself.
Mm.
And unfortunately, we live in a capitalistic country where money buys votes.
Mhm.
And NRA is one of the most powerful organizations in America right now, and therefore they're going to throw the money around and be like, oh, you want to stop my shit? Fuck you, son. I'm pulling my funds.
Mhm.
Whoa, 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 hold up. I need you to suck my dick, though. Because I'm an asshole, dirty, fucking corrupt politician who needs your vote
Mhm.
and your money and your support. So I'm going to suck your long dick. And I'm going to help pass any bill you want. And I'm going to help stop any bill you want.
And I was just about
And
to
I'm in
say,
your back pocket.
That's actually why most states in this country just deal with the NRA because they know that they'll have their way with
Absolutely.
with guns and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Sorry,
And
guys,
actually,
my
not only
bad.
That's why
that,
the NRA is such a big organization. You can literally donate to the NRA and they will literally back you up. If you shoot somebody, if you Bill Cheney, you shoot a motherfucker in the back by accident, which Bill Cheney did do, accident or on purpose, he shot somebody in the back. You know what? If you're part of the NRA, they will supply you with a lawyer to go to court for you to fight on your behalf.
That's crazy.
Mhm.
That's how much they support gun laws.
You gotta deal with that, and then there's also. Have you guys ever heard the term gun show loopholes?
Yes.
No,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I already know what they
Okay.
are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically.
Obama stopped a lot of them, though, when he was in office.
You can go to any gun show and
but
purchase
that
a weapon
shit is-
privately.
that shit is
Not
obviously
anymore,
still-
no.
No, what it is you get a gun purchased for you through on a third party behalf. So like, let's say for instance, my uncle has his gun license, but I don't, and I don't even have to be 21 because apparently, as long as you're at the age of 18, you could be the third party and receive this gun.
Yep.
My uncle has his license, decides to buy me a gun for my birthday. As long as he has his license, it's okay for me to have it,
Well, here's the thing.
and
though.
it's legal.
What?
Well, here's the thing. As long as it's not, well, pistol obviously not. But the thing is, though, as a rifle and shotgun, you can legally purchase 18 or up as long as you don't have any felonies.
Correct.
That is legal
Yeah.
in any state.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You can gift somebody a gun, type deal. When you sign it over, because I was looking at the
Yeah, it has to be a written consent and all that. Yeah.
exactly. But now when it comes to private sale, now I can't like say like take one of my shotguns or something like that and just sell it to you and write up something. Now what
No,
I would
okay.
have to do is now I have to bring it to a like a store or something like that, and they actually have to be like essentially the middleman to essentially like brokerage the sale essentially. So it's being advised by by a federal licensed entity.
Yep.
Essentially. That's really what one of the biggest things that got put into place, because there was that big issue is that especially in these other states like Florida and all this stuff and everything where you don't need a handgun license in Florida to own a handgun. You need to literally just be 21 and older and a Florida resident.
And I was
No
actually gonna say
felonies.
that too. Like
That's
only,
it.
Only
But
in Massachusetts and New Jersey, it's required for people that are carrying firearms and shotguns to have that identification that it's okay for them to do that.
Yeah,
there's
New
only
York-
certain states that
perfectly legal.
require shotguns and rifles for actual licensing. New York, you don't.
Yeah,
No, New York, I
you
can
don't.
just take my shotgun out, put it in my back of my car, and just drive around town with it if I want to, as long as it's not exposed or anything and not packed with weapon or ammunition.
Any ammunition. Yeah.
I'm fine. I'm Gucci.
Like essentially, like I have that one rifle that shoots the 9mm handgun rounds. Right? It's a semi-automatic. You know, it's perfectly legal. It has a clip. So, but legally, what I'm allowed to do is I can ride around with it as long as that clip is not in the gun. I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
But there can be bullets in the clip. As long as the clip
absolutely.
is not, as long as say I can have the clip on me if the gun's in the trunk, fine. The clip just can't have bullets in it right next to the gun, stored in the car.
Yeah.
So it can't just, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Until I'm on the site where I'm going to shoot it, it can't have any
it can't have any ammunition.
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
And if you want a weapon to carry on the sidearm, you have to go for your firearms pistol permit. You know, which New York is one of the hardest places in the country to get your pistol permit. It's just facts. And I personally think that's how we should reform. We should stop all these loophole bullshits with the private shows and stuff like that, or the gifting and stuff. Sorry, yo, you got a lot of guns. You're a hobbyist. Heard. Maybe you should have thought about that before you croaked. Not being a dick, but if you're going to gift your stuff to somebody, that somebody should be already going through a background check, getting the license, getting whatever they need to fill out proper paperwork to prove that they are a competent individual to handle such weaponry.
Well, same thing with my father. My father's he's a retired cop, so he's got handguns. So for me to get his when they're willed over to me later on in life, I have to have a handgun license, or else the state
is going to repossess those.
Will repossess those and hold on to them for up to 5 years. Now, after that 5-year mark, if I don't have my license by them, they take it, they scrap it, whatever it is, they liquidate it somehow. So,
all right. So you guys have wrote some interesting points. Now, real quick, Trump has promised Congress that he would act. He was pledging to outlaw bump fire stocks. Now, if anyone doesn't know what that is, that can make a semi-automatic weapon replicate the rapid firing rate of a machine gun.
So a fully automatic weapon.
Yeah. So, and then some Republicans, they want to, in the hopes of raising required age for purchasing long guns and even banning bump stocks, say probably will not fly. Senator Orrin Hatch of Utah even said, "I'm not very enthused about those." And you got one last thing before I let y'all talk. You got Senator John Kennedy from Louisiana saying, "I don't think we need more gun control. I think we need better idiot control."
I mean, that's facts. I personally believe that education is key to everything. I mean, look at the way, not to get off topic real quick, but I'm just using as a case in point example. Our generation, the millennials, which everybody hates on since day one, fuck y'all older motherfuckers, nothing personal, but y'all been hating on us since day one. And if we were educated properly on guns and stuff like that, I'm not saying it's going to change anything in terms of like the mentally unsound and stuff like that without the gun reform, but guarantee you if someone was properly educated on the dangers and the control of guns, a sane individual is going to be able to handle a gun more properly, more carefully, and with more sound of mind. Me personally, I was a former military police officer. I was a vet in the Air Force for 4.5 years. I was trained on nothing but guns, and I know how to utilize such. When I handle a gun, I handle it with such care, I will not flag you. If my gun goes across your way, I'm going to apologize, and I'm probably going to do some push-ups or something because I need to train myself not to flag anybody with my weapon. If that's a loaded weapon, that should not be crossing anybody's crosshairs other than the target that I am willing to shoot at. Until I'm willing to fire that weapon, that gun is not up and raised. It is always down on the floor and off to a 45-degree angle, and no one will stand before me in front of that. And that's just proper training, and that's the training we need to implement with these younger kids who are going to be coming around guns and stuff like that. It's just facts. If you believe your child is going to come in contact with a weapon, you should educate that individual on the weapon. We educate kids on sex.
Drugs.
Why aren't we
drugs? They will
sex,
hurt themselves faster.
But again, us millennials, we were trained to tolerate, other people for who they are. Gays, transsexuals, conservatives, Republicans, liberals, Democrats, doesn't matter who you are, we're supposed to be tolerable of that, and that's how we were educated. It's the same principle with guns. You treat them young, and you train them young, and they're gonna understand as they get older. This is something I have to know and learn and control.
Preach. Fuck yeah.
Thank you.
There we go.
I'd like to thank
The studio audience is here with us on JT's phone. You know what?
In.
So let me throw a quick fact out for y'all. And this is post Columbine. So April 20th, 99. There's been over 200 shooting or gun related incidents in school, and since that time over 280 students have lost their lives. I mean, that's damn near 300 kids, promising youths the future, taken away because of money. And like
mental illness.
Mental illness, of course, but if there was these laws that everyone or all of you are saying, background checks, et cetera, I really think that a lot of these kids would still be alive, man. And
absolutely.
It's a damn shame, but
And in my opinion, like, a lot of people, conservatives wise, and I'm not trying to title anybody, because liberals have guns too. I consider myself a moderate, but I definitely vote Democratic. But I definitely have conservative viewpoints. My personal belief is you shouldn't rock your boat, mind your own goddamn business. It's that simple. Stop sticking your nose in everybody else's fucking cereal.
Seriously.
But that being said, like, fuck, I lost my train of thought. What were we talking
Well, while you think about that, let me just say this real quick. Kids are gonna be kids. They're gonna do stupid things, and when they're pushed to the limit, they don't know what to do, and they watch too many movies or whatever it may be, and maybe they see a gun and they do some stupid shit, and they think it's okay, or not that they think it's okay, but they think it'll solve their problems, and they bring it to school with them, let's say, and shoot up a school. Like for example, people, you have these. Let's say if you have these safety courses or whatever, or it's harder for people to get guns, people are going to still find a way to get those guns without those safety courses, without those precautions. It's just like drugs, I'm a realist about it. It'll definitely help, but some people will find a way to get those guns.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Like, at the end of the day, if a pothead wants his weed, he's going to get his weed.
Exactly.
But, sorry.
That doesn't escape the fact that I still think there should be, safety precautions and more reforms and stuff. I'm just saying you have to be real about it, and you have to know that some people are going to find ways to go around.
Absolutely.
That's always going to happen.
And to jump on that, what I was trying to say, and I forgot, my apologies, but all the conservatives that stereotypically would argue against all the reform and stuff like that, like, facts of the matter are, the reform's not stopping you from owning your guns. It's just making it a slower process. And if you really want your guns, then you should be willing to go through that process, no matter who you are, whether it's a hobby, whether it's for protection, whether it's for this, that, and the third. If you really want that gun, you should be willing to jump through those hoops to get your gun.
It'll slow the spontaneous of wanting to go buy a gun.
Exactly. It'll really make you think about, do I really need this gun? Is it worth it? And again, to, caveat off of what you said earlier to argue against your point, yeah, you're right. If someone wants, the weed, they're going to get their weed. If someone wants a gun, they're going to get their gun. But if you make it that much more difficult to get that gun, it's going to be that much harder. If you don't know anybody on the streets because you're an upper middle class Joe Schmo, doesn't matter what your race or pigment is. If you're an upper middle class Joe Schmo, chances are you're not going to know everybody who's just going to be like on the streets, yo, son, I got a Glock, $500, you want it? No, you're going to have to go to the hood, you're going to have to make some connections probably or something like that, or you're going to have to know somebody who has some kind of connection. It fell off the back of a truck kind of deal, and you buy that illegally, and then you're going to use that weapon to do your illegal crime act. But you still have to go through that route, and it's still a lot more difficult than it is probably just jumping through the hoops of filling out the paperwork, going through the background check, going through the psych eval type deal, checking your backgrounds. And also the military and the FBI and all those dudes who do help with those background checks need to get on that stuff. I was reading that there's actually passing a bill so that, like the Air Force is notorious for not handing out the psychological trauma of the PTSD victims from the wars and stuff like that. And because of that, these PTSD vets who are breaking unstably are still able to go out and buy their weapons because the U.S. Air Force never released the file saying, hey, these guys are not of sound mind and can't own a weapon. And it's not just the U.S. Air Force, it's other corporations and companies that are, or organizations rather, factions that aren't doing this too. Like they're dropping behind on the paperwork, and that's causing more issues as well. Everybody should have to file their paperwork. It's just facts. We need these reforms to take place, and it needs to stop taking innocent lives. Like, I'm not even talking about just the kids. We're talking about everybody as a whole. Mm-hmm. Schools, definitely. It's a tragedy and it sucks, but I'm talking about everybody in general.
100%. I agree with you. Also, another thing that sucks is that in today's day and age, everything is, you buy something, you get it here and now. You get it within a day. You get it within 2 days. You know, people don't want to wait for the things they want. And that for something so dangerous as a weapon, that should be something you have to wait for. You know, it makes sense. It does.
Absolutely.
It's common sense. It's what it is. If it's something that'll kill somebody, then you should have to wait to get it. To pass all these background checks, to pass everything you need to get it.
And that shit just doesn't fly with me. Like, how you sell somebody a gun and you're not even like checking their background? It's just, oh, they're not a felon? Cool. Like,
as a human being, how can you be so comfortable to just hand that gun over to somebody?
That's what I'm saying.
You literally, I mean, I'm not putting that blame on you because not everybody knew, obviously, but
facts.
If you obviously knew that he wasn't going through the proper procedures in the first place, you're damn near assisting that dude. You might as well be standing next to him going, how many dudes we whacking today, bro?
Yo, facts.
Pause.
I don't know where you're headed, but that's a fizz though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. Like, and then the fact that they want to arm people who aren't even mentally competent, it's just like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Facts.
That's why I said, like, sometimes I really think like they want to set shit up to happen on purpose.
And then all of a sudden, you're sitting in class, the bell rings, and you hear this.
That's scary.
No, facts, man.
That's fucking scary.
Nobody should ever have to worry about that. Nobody should ever be sitting and cowering in their fucking school classroom afraid for their life.
Yeah. And not for nothing, when we were at work, not going to shout the place out, but, you know what I'm saying? But not for nothing.
No, that scare happened.
Yeah, like, not even that scare, but it just, when we had the little lockdown drill, it's just like, yo, it never when I was in school, we had a lockdown drill. I mean, give or take, when I got to like middle school, it was like, oh, just in case we had like a hurricane or a tornado.
Absolutely.
That was the thing. That was the worst it ever got. But
now we're preparing for shootings.
Drills, we're preparing for shootings. Preparing everybody to get in the classroom. Put the file cabinet in front of the door, and it's just like, damn, like really, this is what we've come to.
Everybody be quiet. Don't say anything. Don't make a noise.
Make it seem like no one's in here, and it's just like, damn, really.
Now let me ask you this real quick. Everyone's been a teenager.
Absolutely.
You know.
The hormones are popping. You're coming to puberty.
Exactly. It's the hardest stage in any life in your life. You're going through, as D said, the hormonal changes, and also your social life is, you know.
Everybody think they know who they are. They don't.
Exactly. On top of now having to worry about, am I gonna die when I go to school? Do you know? That, to me, this is going to spike. If this doesn't go unchecked, this is going to start spiking in mental problems for the youth.
Yeah, because they're going to see this as a way out.
Yeah. School's supposed to be the place you're safe.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not anymore.
Because now the new trend is, oh yeah, fuck killing myself. I'm going to go kill everybody who's been bullying me.
Exactly. And that's because I'm not going to, like, I can't point fingers completely, but I'm going to say it's partially because of how the media glorifies it. They cover that shit for days on end. So if a dude's like, yo, I fucking hate my life, but you want to know what? At least I'll be remembered.
Yeah.
They're going to remember me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what, though, also, too, that also, if you think about it, too, the people who are like, you know, they really do hate themselves, but they're, like, afraid to kill themselves. Like, you know what? If I go shoot up the school, then cops just shoot me and take me out.
Yeah, but you ain't got to take out 18 other kids with you.
Never know.
You can literally just call 911 and be like, yo, there's been a shooting at my crib. I'm holding someone hostage. Fuck you. And then cops will show up at your house and you just walk outside with your gun. Death by suicide. Death by officer. Suicide by officer.
Yeah.
Suicide by policeman. That's a real thing. People do that shit.
No, for real.
And I'm not condoning that shit by any means. Like, fuck that. Like, nobody should ever, like, if you got issues, seek help. If you got issues, hand over your guns.
Yeah.
My boy Jimmy, Like, I walked up to him, I was like, yo, I'm going through a depression phase. Hold my 2 guns for me.
I just
Please.
gave them back to him, and this was like a year and
I've been good for a while, but I want to make sure I was
like
staying
a
stable.
year and over almost a year and a half.
And that's
Yeah.
proper responsibility of taking care of yourself and your guns.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
And that's how it should be.
Exactly.
All right, but yo, we're gonna take a quick break. Our boy T is gonna be coming on, kind of lighten up the mood with his tell some jokes. Please stay tuned. This is Roach Clips. We'll be right back.
What's up, everybody? Happy Saturday. It's your boy Rel Denton, aka Tea Time. I would like to thank everybody for sitting here supporting my guys, my crew, the Roach Clips. They're kind of the truth, but so am I. So thank you for listening. Today's topic is kind of a touching subject, something real, something close to home. Everybody's been talking about these school shootings and what we should do in response to uh, dealing with them and being a better society. Let me start by saying this is all my opinion. I'm not spinning anything factual until I tell you it is, but this is really just my opinion. I want to say that everything I've heard so far has pretty much been wrong, and I don't think we should go. I don't think we should go too hard with giving teachers guns. Teachers have books and they do more dangerous things with that. The sad part about it, we're in a society where people don't have the patience required that you need to kind of wield a gun because you're dealing with life and death. Honestly, it starts at home. I think the best way to impact a kid's life is showing them that you care. And if you're gonna let him or her, excuse me, be locked in a room playing Xbox 360 or looking up God knows what on the internet, um, the outcome is gonna be tragic. Well, not gonna be, but it's likely. You know, there's situations where you do have good kids, you do have inventors, creators, and beautiful minds coming out of dark places, but sometimes the dark minds don't make it out of those dark places. Um, but if we start showing our kids and our futures that we care about them and that they mean more to us than just tax returns and Christmas, uh, we would probably show, or our kids would probably have a little more compassion towards life. This is nothing new. There's Columbine. Before that, we've had other situations with school massacres, whether it's shooting or not. Uh, but now that everything is so televised and so, I kind of feel like I want to say marginalized because these statistics that they're putting up are just crazy. Like it's almost like everybody's aiming for records now. It's kind of influencing our kids, our youth, our crazy people in the world to do crazier things, and the programming seems to be working. So I think if we take a scale back or step back from putting so much of the negativity out there, I think people wouldn't be so quick to look for guns or execution as an answer or an example. You know, it's like divorce. You look at all these magazines now. The first thing you see, it says Tom and Angelina divorced for $400 million. Now, everything you see on that is just the money, and you see their pictures still being exposed. So you don't really see what they go through, why they came to a divorce, what made them want to go through. You're just seeing, oh my God, $400 million. That's better than a lotto. So what does that encourage the mom that just sitting there at ShopRite on a Tuesday, you know, minding her business, whose husband's working hard probably to support the house or doing whatever he has to do, but they're not spending as much time lately. So now she starts thinking about this divorce. All I'm saying is that we're at a situation where we influence each other, and the influence that we give kind of spark the next person's idea. So we should start trying to remold or refilter our inspirations. I think scale back on this gun situation, gun control. Scale back on scaring parents from beating their kids, or not even beating. I'm sorry, uh, teaching their kids. I'll say, you know, and we'll try to we'll probably start to see a little difference because you're giving people a real feel of life. In the '80s, things were different because you you didn't even do things because you were scared to do it. You did things because you were like afraid to lose respect. And a lot of things we're doing lately are not respectful. So that was just me rambling, and hopefully you picked up some jewels and gems and pass them on to your friends. But it's Saturday. Enjoy yours because I'm gonna enjoy mine. Stay high, stay friendly, stay blessed. Take care.
Welcome back to Roach Clips. I'm your host for tonight, Buddha. Again, topic of the night tonight, a very dark one, gun control. Um, and I hope to God or whoever you believe in, if you don't believe in anybody, that's cool. That you never are faced with something like this, whether it be in a school or in your workplace. But we're gonna give you some tips on what to do if you're ever faced in a situation like this, which again I hope that you're not. We're gonna start with my boy Clay. Um, he's gonna give you our first tip, and we're gonna go around the table. So Clay, oh man, take it away.
Well, I mean, there's definitely a few ways to go about it, but like I said, man, it just for me, it's just simple and plain, bro. Just better reforms, like things that make sense. Like like the way they're trying to handle the situation now, saying that these teachers now need to be armed, and the president wants at least 20% of teachers in the country to be armed. And little current event shout out if you don't know, Florida's now passing a bill for these teachers to now do as such, where they'll get the training and get armed and be able to protect if need be. And they're initiating this by saying if the teachers do fall through with the program, they get a bonus in their salary. So what does that mean? Every teacher's about to be fucking armed if they can. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, if I can get a paycheck just to have a gun in my hand,
Yeah,
more than likely,
that's a double bonus right there. In my
any
opinion.
logical
Shit.
individual is gonna take it.
It's gonna take it. Just the simple fact that it's like, okay, I'm doing a good deed.
Yeah.
Air quote.
Their
You know what I'm
logic
saying?
is, I don't have to use the gun,
And
but I'm gonna get me some money.
I'm gonna get, but I bet you more than half those teachers, something happened, give or take. I feel like that shit is only gonna make it. It's not gonna be. It's gonna be more of like a fight or flight situation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then give or take, I feel like there's gonna definitely be more bloodshed. So you probably are gonna have those teachers dying in protection of those kids. And then after an incident like that happens, another bill.
What about you were just saying that in Georgia.
Yeah, and then also in northern Georgia, it wasn't really specific exactly where in Georgia because they're still trying to, I guess, uncover some details and whatever. But a teacher, for whatever reason, they still don't know why he was this upset, locked himself into a classroom, and they were wondering, why he locked himself in the classroom. Suspicions going around saying he had a gun or whatever. Principal goes to his classroom just to kind of figure out what's going on, and the second he hears somebody at the door, he just starts firing his gun out the window. Wow. Thank God he didn't hit anybody. Wow. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, do you really want to arm these teachers? It's like the irony. This bill gets passed, and then all of a sudden in Georgia, you have a teacher with a fucking gun, and he's just going crazy. So it's like there's no winning. So that's why I say, like, for me, to make things better, in my opinion, stricter fucking rules. Like, you don't need to arm these teachers. You know what I'm saying? Just make it a lot more strict and a lot more harder to gain these guns. So this way, people will think 3, 4, 5, 6 times before they say, do like Dustin said earlier, do I really need this gun? Do I really want to go through all this? Case point, not to get too much off topic. If I'm pissed off at somebody, you know what I'm saying, and in the moment, yeah, I'm gonna beat that person to shit. But am I gonna feel that same way a week later? No. I'm gonna be like, man, fuck that person. I'm just not gonna say shit to them. So it's gonna be like, do you really want that gun? Are you really willing to go through all this, just to have one gun, two guns, whatever? You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's a definite due process that needs to be put in place.
Nah, if you got any, what would your advice to be to somebody that is in a situation like let's say there is an armed gunman in their workplace or in the school, like what would you tell them to do? Like what's like if you ever seen any training? I mean, you work in a school, so
Yeah, I work in a school. Like I said, for the school, it's lock down, hide, duck somewhere, don't make any noise. And for me, I agree. And then worst case scenario, if you feel like bullets are starting to ricochet through your classroom or whatever, if it's possible for you, the teacher and those students to get out of this, some way to get away or out or whatever to safety away from that, then do that. But at the same time, like you know don't let it be a fight or flight situation where it's like you're panicking and then shit happens and then what I'm saying, then you have people getting hurt. You know what I mean? So there definitely has to be some type of like I said, just some type of strict ruling on that, man. It doesn't make sense. All these acts and all these bills being passed, like I said, from fucking 1936, from fucking Al Capone and them slaughtering motherfuckers with Tommy guns, and nothing is being put in place where it's stopping this shit. That we still have these massacres going on.
yeah. We're gonna jump now to our boy Red Velvet, aka JT. Do you have any tips, or do you have anything to say before you want to drop a tip off for our fellow listeners out here?
Shit, Glock up. No, I'm just playing. No, but
This guy.
no, but for real, like because this whole big situation that's been going on, there's been a lot of good helpful tips that have been going on all over the internet, and I just want to share one that I saw that I thought would be very, very, very useful. It was this one device that it was essentially this metal lock plate that you slide underneath the door. That essentially was a little barricade type device. You slide underneath the door and you slide it to the right and left, and it bars the door jam on the outside inside so that the door can't open up. And you can only open up from the inside from once it's locked there. It's complete and it's works fucking phenomenally. Right there, that tool right there should still be in class because right there, like there's the statistic out. I forget where, but most shooting situations, whatnot, and type deal, it's a very high pace situation. So a lot of times, if a door is locked, 9 out of 10 times, most likely that person's just going to keep on moving. You know what I mean? As deterrent right away. You know what I'm saying? As when it comes to the teachers though carrying the guns and shit, I feel like there's got like we were saying earlier that there's going to be some that are for it and that have that mental capability because there's a big difference between people who use guns in sports shoot and then there's people who can use guns in that type of reaction, which is not that many. A lot of people they can't fucking shoot a fucking straight when they see a fucking deer creeping up on them in the woods, let alone when they have bullets flying around on them and stuff. And that's 3/4 of hunters that I know that have been shooting for years. Sometimes they get that crazy heart rate going on, and they sometimes will miss their shot, whatever type deal. I mean, it's not erratic shooting stuff like that, but in situations like that, when a shooting's occurring, you need to be accurate. So I feel like it's more than just that these teachers can carry guns and whatnot. That they really need to do intensive militaristic type combat training, like CQC, close quarter combat type scenario training, or else it's going to be fucking pointless. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have the proper training to react in these type of scenarios, what the hell is the use of carrying them? Mind you, I'm for it in certain circumstances, but you need to be able to be qualified in those combat type scenarios, I feel, to be able to fully carry that in school.
Merely just having a gun on you isn't going to do anything.
Exactly. If anything, you have a gun on you, that teacher gets shot dead. Now that fucking perp has another weapon to pick up and use on other people.
And a minimum of 7 rounds.
Minimum.
Extra.
Minimum. Or 6 if they have a revolver.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then what if they have extra mags on them and stuff like that too? You got to think of these things. The more weapons that are in the scenario, the more opportunities that if somebody gets hit or they lose their weapon in the chaos of everything and it gets picked up by somebody else, what then? You know what I'm saying? So these teachers not only need to just not know how to shoot, but know how to react. And that right there is going to be the hardest thing because not many teachers, Dustin, you're one of the few out there. Well, not few. There are the large of teachers out there that have prior military background stuff when I've been through it. But What about the rest?
No,
What
facts.
about the female teachers? What about the 60-year-old woman?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I know some
'Cause let's be
crazy.
honest,
I know some crazy good shots out there. Some older women. Don't get me wrong, but at
majority
the same time,
average.
you're not going to see the 75-year-old librarian fucking doing a battle roll, like in between the library bookshelves, shooting against fucking armed assailants. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You're not going to have it. The only thing that I could say maybe is maybe with some of these the well, I was thinking maybe a solution. What if you had some of the National Guard, like the people like the Weekend Warrior type deal that do their weekend a month? What if some part of their weekend a month is that one day a week or type deal? You have to be posted up as security at.
Bless you.
Sorry.
Nice.
God damn it.
All right. You get one. Hurry up.
At schools, you know what I'm saying?
That's
Not
cool.
like have it so these kids are walking in, there's like fucking fully strapped to the nines and stuff, but like, kind of some semi plain clothes, maybe have just a vest on and have like,
Kind of like what?
Tech Nines or something.
Kind of like what is it? The air marshals in an airplane.
Exactly. Yeah. Or even like the U.S. Marshals. The U.S. Marshals be walking around. They have a fucking. They can have a fucking windbreaker on. You don't even know they got a fucking MP5 underneath that thing.
Word.
Strapped around. All I gotta do is whip around. I got fucking 38 rounds.
Yeah. But that's crazy. But we're gonna jump now to Slim Dims. What you got, man? You got? Oh, my bad. Oh no, you said your tip. My bad. Did you got anything?
Before I say my piece, I agree with a lot of what you said, Jimmy, and that makes a lot of sense. Like having weekend warriors to come through one day a week and go to a school and just chill, and protect the school, or like how a lot of police officers in New York City. They do overtime by going to like the stadiums or like parks or some shit, and they could go to a school or something for a day, and instead of doing overtime,
or even these retired police officers too, like you know what I'm saying, have like maybe have a senior force that's for school protection.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
And past that, what about like all these homeless people and like retired vets or like vets living on the street? What about them? Like we can give them jobs, and not vets who are I'm talking about vets who are sane of mind, and
people like me who got out early and don't have PTSD and don't suffer from other things that could possibly deter you from owning a gun or protecting a school.
Yeah, and and we can hire them and put them in a school to safeguard them. Other than that, on my piece, I think that I think metal detectors could play a huge role. I think every entrance to a school should be covered with a metal detector. And
at least the wands, right?
Well,
I know our
just
local school district
like
does.
your entries to go through there have the door jams built in with them or something. Tape them to them, duct tape motherfucking wands to them or something.
Both. You could have metal detectors or wands, and then every kid gets wanded or teacher gets wanded before they come in, or go through the metal detector. If I'm sure a lot of kids have jewelry and stuff, and you just push that through or whatever, take that off real quick. If it goes off, you pat them down real quick. Like it's to safeguard your child. Why not?
Yeah,
that's true.
And I would agree. Because like not for nothing, first thing that came to mind when you said metal detectors, I'm thinking providing all these schools around the country with metal detectors is gonna be a big fucking cost. You know what I'm saying? But not only that, it's also gonna be quite not tedious, but tediously annoying. You know what I'm saying? Because think about it, like how hard they started going, in the airports after like 9/11. People were annoyed with that shit. But not for nothing, I recently just traveled and I was thinking about it, like, you know what? Fuck it. At least I know I'm good to a certain extent. At least I know, you know what I'm saying, a motherfucker ain't walking here with a strap. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like fuck it. And I think that's just something that schools might have to get conditioned to. It'll be kind of annoying, you know what I'm saying? But there's already schools out there that deal with that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's nothing new technically.
And there's plenty of schools. I want to say at least 60 to 70% of schools are able to fund a couple metal detectors, a couple of wands. The other 30%, we have all these multi-billionaires, multi-millionaires. We got government, we got Army, Navy, we got all these different factions, all these different organizations. Like, fund a school to have a metal detector. Come on, like.
It's really not
it's
that
for a good
expensive.
cause.
You know what I'm saying?
It's not for like something terrible. It's something for the children, something for our future. Like you don't want your own kid not to have a safe experience at school because you were too greedy to put a metal detector in a school.
But the issue is a lot of people who have the money and have the power are sending their kids to better schools anyway. So typically, it's not the more prominent schools having the issues and stuff like that.
Inner city.
Not exactly. It's typically inner city kids and stuff like that, and there lies the issue, So
now, real quick, I want to just, if you don't mind, I just want to piggyback off of what you guys are saying about having someone in the school armed. Now, I'm going to use the Florida incident. There was a deputy on site during the shooting.
I heard he ran the other
I
way.
heard it was like one deputy to control the whole.
Yeah,
it was one sheriff's deputy, and he actually did not enter. Of course, fearless leader, Trump, he said he choked. He said that the entire police force, the way they performed was really a disgrace. Quote. Also, this is the man that said that he would have ran in there without a gun.
He's just trying to make people feel better.
So,
which obviously we ain't buying
now,
bullshit.
well, hold on, I'll let you speak in a second. My thing is with that is, again, they had somebody in there with a gun who has training, and I don't know what this person at the time was thinking. We're humans. Self-preservation is a thing. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that's what he did, but that's something to keep in mind too.
Come from a military police background, which is essentially just the stepsister of the police officer, because facts matter are I'm going to both do the cop's job and the infantry job. So I like to think I have a pretty decent know-how or how a situation would be handled. Not every situation, but most situations typically would be handled. I'm going to state this. Trump, you fucking asshole. That being said, I'm going to jump on that bandwagon with Jimbo over here. I'm sorry. Typically I don't do that, but I'm going to jump on that man's bandwagon. Fuck Trump. Because you want to know what? As an individual, by myself, what I was trained to do, as a cop, as an officer, not an infantryman, not a soldier, as an officer, if I'm by myself and there's a mess...
You might want to specify to them your role.
What do you mean?
You're like MP?
Yeah.
I already did that.
Oh, okay.
That was in the beginning of the episode, guys. Sorry. Update. I was for military police again.
Yeah.
If y'all missed that the first time I go around.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Because somebody might have missed it. But, yeah, as a military police officer, this is how I would have handled the situation. Crap, we got shit going down. Let me drop back. I'm going to position myself in a safe, secure situation. I'm going to call for backup immediately. I'm going to explain the situation 100% what it is. Once I have backup, 3-man, 4-man team, who's the seniority on site? Am I still that person? I'm going to handle shit. Let's get dudes here, 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 here. Let's quarter off that area, that area, that area, that area. Do we have quick reaction team yet? Do we have SWAT here? Do we have our snipers in place? Who do we have? Where are we at? Is the feds here yet? Are they now in charge? How are we going to handle this shit over? Are we negotiating with a hostage situation? No? Okay, it's an active shooter situation. All right, escalate the situation. We got to get in as quick as possible. We got to get in quick as possible and as effectively as possible with a team that is competent and able to handle such situation. If that cop had run in there by himself and got not knowing where that kid is one way or the other, again, back to Jimmy's situation. Now we got an armed shooter with an extra set of ammunition, a second chance vest on top of that if he takes the cop's second chance vest, tasers, mace, pepper spray, a baton. What else he got? A walkie-talkie, so now he can listen in on their conversation. Okay, so you're coming down the hallway at point B, C, and D? Cool, I already know. Bow, 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 bow. Got you guys. Moving on. Now I got extra weapons. No. I'm going to drop back, I'm going to analyze the situation, I'm going to send a team in that's prepared and handle the situation. They're going to get in ASAP. They should be there within 2-3 minutes flat because it's a school. I mean, if a cop hears a kid's in trouble, they should be there ASAP. If you're thinking second about anything else, you're wrong. You shouldn't be a cop.
Yeah, agreed.
And my tip to cut it off would be know where your ex is at and know how to get to them effectively. That's just 101. It doesn't matter whether it's an active shooter, doesn't matter whether it's a fire situation, earthquake, you should know where all your exes are at all times. That's just human nature.
And I was also to add on to saying, like, it's not totally the cop's fault. Not to say that he's a coward.
No, I think he handled the situation flawlessly, in my opinion.
Yeah, and then not for nothing, you can't blame him because, like I said, one guard for a whole school.
No.
And then not for nothing, I have not my relative, but my older brother, his little brother on his dad's side actually goes to that school, and he said that there's different buildings. So the guard was in one building, shit going on in another building, and thank God he was in a whole other building. So that tells you how big the fucking school is. So you can't expect that one guard to know what the fuck is going on, and it's only him walking around. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So they were the
Word might not have made to him yet.
And what
I'm
I'm
saying,
saying,
how the hell are you not gonna have at least one guard per building?
per
that's on your
building, and that's what I'm
campus?
saying.
Yeah.
Like one guard patrol the building. They got this one guard walking through the whole school.
Mhm.
So all it is timing. Oh, he in building 3. I got about 25, 30 minutes to do the fuck
Shit,
I want.
it's like I got 2 other buildings I could run through and then go
Exactly.
back to the one I was just in there and do the whole fucking.
And if I already did those two, I know
hallway
he's in the
scenario.
one that I'm not in, and I'm gonna come back for him.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm saying. Like you can't blame the dude at all. He did the best he could do, as Dusty put it. Did a job flawlessly, called for backup, whatever, and they did the best they can do.
No.
Should have been handled differently. We don't know.
2020 hindsight's always a motherfucker.
Hell
Monday
yeah.
night quarterback.
Huh.
I mean, and
So fuck Trump.
Yeah.
Fuck Trump.
fuck Trump.
Think about what the fuck
he
you're
ain't running
talking
up in
about before
nowhere.
you open your mouth, Trump.
Facts, he ain't running up in nowhere. talking
Trump,
about
you
being ran
nothing
up
but
in
a
by
dump, big lump, like a goiter.
Goida. Mad Jersey. So, real quick, I just want to ask one last question, and then we can, call it a night. So, this was from a poll from 2010, and I just want to read it, and I just want to hear what y'all say. The U.S. makes up 5% of the world's population. It holds 31% of global mass shootings. We have 90. We've had 90 since, and more actually now.
Mm-hmm.
The runner-up is the Philippines with 18. Russia's with 15. Yemen's with 11. France is with 10. Now, Russia and France, they're not. Well, Russia's bigger than us.
Mm-hmm.
Way.
France is a big country. Yemen and the Philippines are very small.
Mm-hmm.
What we have more than all of these is the general pop is a lot closer.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have Russia, you have like Siberia that like nobody lives in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I guess what my question is, even if we get the guides, all of these preventions, is it just that it's a big population? You're gonna have violence. You're gonna have gun. Do you think that no matter what, do you think that this is just gonna continue to go on?
What, like, as in?
As in, like, we can put all these preventions in place. You gotta get.
You're saying just in gun laws and
gun laws,
okay,
yeah. Just this isn't counting criminal activity.
Yeah, no.
This is just.
I feel like it definitely would hold down the amount of fucking shootings that's going on. Because like I said, it'll literally have to be a motherfucker who got his gun legally through all those steps that we said that should be in place, and then he might have just had a bad day.
Yeah.
God forbid it ever gets to that. You know what I'm saying? Because let's be real. There's gonna be crime everywhere, no matter what. Crime is always gonna happen.
Yeah.
People go through their fucking phases and just feel like, oh, I was gonna beat up a motherfucker today. But I'd rather you beat up a motherfucker than shoot 50. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
Like, at least I know the nigga might not die, whoever you beat up, or whatever the case may be, than taking 50 lives that didn't need to be taken. You know what I'm saying?
That had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I feel like it'll definitely make a significant drop in crime itself, but there'll still be bullshit going on, of course. Like,
Yeah, I agree. Ideally, I think we would hope to drop it down to 0. Ideally, but something could happen. But with all the preventions and countermeasures and stuff that we brought up as a whole, as a group right now in this session, I think that if all of those were to put into place, that the max you'd see is like anywhere from 5 to 10, which is pretty. Yeah, I don't want to say it's good.
But it's not 90.
It's not 90 though. Yeah, that's like.
And granted, that's
way more
over.
than it
Yeah,
needs to
that's
be.
over like 50 years. So, no, but yeah, no, shit, man. As fucked up as it sounds, man, I'd take 5 and 10 more over 90 fucking killings. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Jimbo?
Man, like, I really don't know, because at the end of the day, I feel like regardless that no matter what you do to the guns, how strict you get it, whatever like that, there's always going to be a way to get them, right? So, yeah, do some research. Definitely tighten things up a little bit, but at the same time, we need to hit it from a different front. We have to hit the other problems that the mental health issues. We need to hit the cyberbullying issues. We need to hit the issues that of people growing up in dilapidated households, people growing up in in communities where they're not concentrating on school, they're concentrating like, oh, what route am I going to take home so I don't get shot. Like what we need to we need to rethink about what's really important about these facts, and really what the root cause of the big problem is here, and that's the breakdown in human interaction and human how we love each other.
Yeah.
And what we do for each other.
Very
Tolerance.
Very, very well said. Give yourself a round of applause for that one, goddammit. That was good. Thank you, studio audience. Dustin.
Yo.
Best for last. Actually, psych, I'm last. But go ahead.
Wow. Okay. Nah, I mean, Jimmy hit the nail on the head, and I will give this to Trump. Like, as much as I hated on him earlier, I will give him this. Clay, back me up on this. You said during his bill that he's passed in Florida, though, he did say he was going to donate $5 million towards also putting towards mental health care and stuff like that in the schools. Am I correct?
Yep.
So that being said, that's a perfect start. I just think he's going out of his mind with the arming of the teachers and bonuses and stuff like that. But I will agree with him on the fact that we do need money thrown towards mental health, and we need to increase the mental health sector, like Jimmy hit on. Definitely, you deserve that round of applause, son. Hit the nail on the head. Furthermore, I agree again with Slims. You need to get somebody there to guard the place up. Don't care who it is, but they need to be well-trained individuals. We should have a QRC. Case in point, I don't want to give anything away because OPSEC's a thing, but you should always have a QRC team on any kind of hand situation where you have a high priority asset to protect. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, what priority other than children's lives is more important? So if you're going to guard your nukes that way, and you're going to guard your money and your Fort Knox that way, why aren't we guarding our kids? Isn't there...
400 million, not 400 million.
All right, 400 mil, my fault. So that's even more than I thought. That's even better. But point still stands. He's doing the right thing there. Mm-hmm. But again, yeah, like these kids, this is our future. This is our humanity. This is our the whole point of humans procreating is to ensure the genetic, furtherization of the human species. Mm-hmm. To keep humans alive, to keep procreating and keep our species going. Mm-hmm. Shouldn't you want to protect your species, the kids, the golden child, the fuel, the energy, the oil, the gas, the future? Like, you got nothing if you ain't got kids moving.
That's a fact.
So we should be protecting these kids.
Yeah. Especially when they influence damn near everything in our country.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Media, they control that shit.
Yep.
And
money, they control that shit. Advertising, they control that shit.
Mommy, I want this.
Yep.
Exactly. So y'all rich motherfuckers should be protecting them motherfuckers, stupid.
Yes.
And one thing before,
if for no other reason other than greed,
just to piggyback, the one thing that pissed me off is I keep reading on Facebook and all other social medias is these kids were eating Tide Pods 2 months ago, and now they're experts on gun control.
Word.
Well, who's the ones that are dying?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's the
It's the
kids.
children.
You know what I mean? So, I think they have the biggest voice in it out of anyone.
Yeah, and I'm proud of them for going. I mean, some of the things, do I think they're going about the wrong way? Yes. But at least they started to speak, and they're coming together better than any other generation I've seen before. I mean, with the exception of like the civil rights movement and stuff like that. But in the last 10 to 20, 30 years, I will give it to them. They're killing it. I haven't seen a movement like this since my whole time on this planet. That's damn near 3 decades. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I give them to them. Round of applause to you guys. You're doing work. Keep that shit up. Keep fighting the White House.
Wow.
No, fuck that. Keep fighting the white man too. But no, seriously. Yeah, keep preaching. Keep fighting the White House. Assemble peacefully, and what's that word? I'm stuck on the P word.
Protest.
Thank you. Protest.
Protest.
It's a big fact.
All right. So tonight we've discussed a lot. It's a scary topic, man. Guns are a scary thing, man.
It's a scary truth. Let it resonate with all you roaches out there.
Yeah.
Think about our world today. Think about what's going on, and definitely trying to change it. Trying to change it for the better.
Yeah.
And if you're a gun owner, man, I'm myself a gun owner. I have 2, and I'm gonna get more. I know I am, because I am a hobbyist and I'm a former veteran. I do like to go target practicing, but stop being a dick.
Mm-hmm.
Go through the jumps, go through the motions, do your paperwork. If you want that gun, then just put up with the bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
We doing it for the kids. We ain't doing it for you. We don't give a fuck about you.
Early.
Word. Real quick, before we say our goodbyes, anyone out there, I'm speaking to, if there's any kids listening, there's the Guilford's Pledge, action.guilfords.org. You signs a petition. It's to it's basically, you want to support candidates that have common sense gun reform. So please, if you feel that wherever state you live in, if you feel that you're not being represented correctly, sign a petition, man. Let your voice be heard out there, because no one ever got anything accomplished being quiet. So
Squeaky wheel gets the oil.
exactly.
Y'all can speak your mind on social media, then get out there and speak your mind and be an activist.
Absolutely.
Get some balls.
Yeah, stop just talking. Start doing.
Exactly. But all right, man. Thank you so much again for joining us tonight.
You want to host Mikey Slims?
Yeah, I do.
All right. You want to read?
Let the host do his damn job.
Word, motherfucker.
All right. Oh, by the way, if everyone's wondering what the horns are, if you fuck up and you talk over or do anything dumb, we blow the horn on your ass. So. Thank you.
Thank you, Jimmy.
That was odd. All right. Please, again, thank you so much for tuning in. Come back next week. We're gonna do a little. We started off strong, but we're gonna take the second episode to kind of get to know us. And also, we're gonna be talking about another serious topic, bullying and things of that nature. So please come back. This has been Roach Clips. Thank you again for tuning in. Much love. This is Buddha signing out.
We out.